Hello, everyone. Hello. I hope that you guys can see me. I am having a difficult time doing the show today. A lot of you know that all of my stuff is no longer here. I am back in Charlotte. So I'm making it work. I'm making it work. Got a lot to do, but I'm making it work. I welcome you. Welcome to a nonprofit nugget with DrDebra. I am DrDebra Dunstan, a nonprofit strategist and funding coach. And I will only be holding you for just a moment so that I can get this all out. As you know, this show is to answer some of the questions that I get in my work with my clients and also just from people on social media. Today's question is a pretty interesting one. Um, I I don't on today's question. I don't consider myself the authority on it, but I do know kind of what it has to do with nonprofits. So today's question that we're being talked about, I've been asked this question in one way or another by several people, and I thought it should be one that I should cover to answer your question as best I can as a nonprofit strategist and funding coach. So, like I said, not the authority, but I'm having problems here again. Um, Hi, Jacqueline. How are you? Nice seeing you here. So, morning from Arizona. All right. All right. All right. Jacqueline, this morning I'm saying good morning from Charlotte. I am in Charlotte to finish closing things down and all of that. But we'll be heading back across those mountains. Um, so today's question is, can sales skills help me in my nonprofit? Can sales skills help me in my nonprofit? And people have asked this question in various different ways, especially when talking about earned income. So I decided to cover it today. Like I said, I am not the expert on sales, but I can definitely recommend somebody. Brian Keith McNeil, he's the sales confidence coach. If you want to hone your sales skills, he's definitely the one to help you do that. But what I can share with you, I am going to share how it fits in the nonprofit world. A lot of you don't know, but that actually years ago, I've been in nonprofit work for about a little over 37 years, maybe even more than that if I count some of the telephone stuff. But before I did nonprofit fundraising, I actually did accounting during the day. I was an accounting specialist doing mostly budgets. And in the evening, to help pay my way through school, I was doing telephone sales and fundraising. I worked for a company that handled different contracts. It was a phone room, I guess you would call it. It was a phone room, but it was a big room, and we had different banks set up, different sections set up, and each section actually handled a different program. Some of them were sales, some of them were appointment setting, and some of them were fundraising. And so I worked all around that particular business until I worked my way up into a managerial position where they gave me my own sales and fundraising team. So that's my story. At one point, I found that I was making more in sales and fundraising than I was my salary in accounting. So I actually flipped my career by starting to work as a budget manager for a international nonprofit. And so that's kind of how I got into nonprofit work, besides the time that I spent on the phone raising funds for various nonprofits. And so whether we want to admit it or not, there is a lot of selling going on in nonprofits, whether we want to open our eyes to it or not, because the idea of selling is kind of horrifying to some of us who are in the nonprofit arena. Like, no, we're not going to sell. This is a worthy cause. We shouldn't have to sell it. That's like selling Jesus, you know. But if you think about it, most of the time when we talk about sales and nonprofits, we're actually talking about, you read two of Brian's books. I actually has his book too. He is great. I mean, he taught me a lot about selling my services and myself. And that's why even in nonprofit work, we do have to learn that. And we mostly call it marketing or public relations. And they're all kind of mixed and mingled in there together. But either way, we do need to have some skills at sharing the great work that we do, and how and even sharing to people on how to get involved with our great work, how to connect with us. We do need to be able to know how to do that. And sometimes it can be scary to us. And knowing and honing your sales skills kind of can help you to feel a little more comfortable with that. Is this a plug for Brian? I recommend him, but he did not ask me to do this. But I do need, especially my clients, you do need to let people know what you're doing. You just do. As a funder, you guys know that most of my career, I was either the fundraiser or the funder, and sometimes in a hybrid position where I was raising the money, and then we turn around and we give the money away as a grant manager for the government. And so I'm telling you, even as a funder, I do, I'm putting on my funding hat. We do need to know what you're doing. We do need to know what good works you're doing. We do need the people that you're trying to serve. They do need to know who you are. They need to know that you are. And so we would love it if you could just say, build a website and they will come. But we all know that's not how it works. Most of the time, we do have to put some work into it. So, can sales skills help you? I believe so. That's my opinion. Now, a few ways that I found that sales skills can help us in sustaining our vision and sustaining your nonprofit. I'm going to share those with you. One is to spread our mission and our vision. Whether we're calling it, like I said, PR, marketing, whatever. If you're just posting about it, sometimes that doesn't work. You may have to talk about it. You may have to put your tongue where your words are. Somebody may ask you, you may have to go into a bank president and he say, well, what are you guys doing? Or you may have to approach a city official or a councilman or the mayor. You need to know how to sell your organization and your vision and your mission to people. Hello, Brenda Booker Bull. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday. So you do need to know how to sell, just like you would sell a business and what you can do. You do need to know how to sell your mission and your vision. You do need to feel comfortable talking about it. And if you don't feel comfortable, you need to find somebody who's comfortable tooting your horn for you. And if you use words like we and us, then you don't have to worry about, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I'm doing this, so you don't have to feel prideful, because that's where some of us have that problem. But when you're talking about the work you're doing, that your nonprofit is doing, then you say we. Like I would say, Healing Lives Fellowship is really helping people. Healing Lives Fellowship, I would say the name of my nonprofit. If I didn't feel comfortable, I would share the vision by saying we and us. And make sure there is a we and us. You have a board. You can get other people to talk about your nonprofit. But you do have to spread your mission and your vision. So that's the first thing. The next thing is to bring in new donors, which means new revenue, right? You may have donors, but you do want more donors. So you do have to learn to sell your story. You do have to learn to tell the story of why your nonprofit exists. You do have to learn to tell the story of how it's helping people. And so when donors hear about us, like imagine when we're seeing those commercials on TV and they get somebody to be saying, you really need to help because they need you so much. That helps to sell the vision. People have to visualize what you're actually doing. And so you are selling that vision to the new donors. So not only does it help to spread your mission and vision, it also helps you to bring in new donors and people who may not have known you. And then you don't have to always depend on just your friends and your relatives, right? We don't have to always just depend on them. Good afternoon, Evangelist Lethbridge. How are you doing? Evangelist, that's right. You are back in Maryland. Wow, I forgot about that. Yeah, you'll have to tell me where your son, where Howard is too, where Howard and his family is, so I can hook up with them when I go to Tennessee, get back to Tennessee. And so now you can spread your mission and vision by talking about the nonprofit itself. If you don't feel comfortable talking about your good works, talk about the nonprofit's good works. It helps you to bring in donors, right? New donors, those who don't know you. Number 3 is it helped those we serve know where we are and know about our services. Well, we never talk about our services, never sell our services to the community. How are the people who need us going to know we're there? So you will be a secret in the desert, a secret of water in the desert. Thanks, Evangelist. Yeah, you will be the secret. You don't want to be the best kept secret in the desert when somebody's out there thirsty, right? So you would need to sell your services to the community just so the community can know that you're there, so that they can even call you and say, I need help. I need help. So learning how to sell, I still say sell your nonprofit. This is how you use it. You can spread your mission and vision, bring in new donors, help those who you want to serve know where you are and that you're still serving. Next, it helps you to share your success with the community. And that way a community can rally behind you. And people who want to help can actually know who you are. Then you don't have to bring in people who may not be good for your organization, or they won't feel railroaded into helping you because they may have something that they're doing. But when you share your success and you share your stories, it helps others who do have a like mission to know where they can fit into your mission, and you let them fit in where they fit in. Don't pry them into a position. Let them get in where they fit in, where they want to fit in. Everybody has a calling, and everybody's calling is not the same. So let them go along their calling. And if their calling happens to meet your vision, and then you guys can work together. So you spread your mission and vision, you get new donors, you help those who you want to serve know who you are, and you share successes. You also can create relationships with other organizations and government agencies. When you're out here, like I said, if you have to visit the city council, you may just have to talk about your nonprofit. You may have to do something more than just taking a brochure and say, here, read this. People don't always have time to be reading. So you have to know how to tell your story. You have to know how to say your mission in some quick sentences so that people can hear your story. Because that brochure probably gonna go in file 13 because people are so busy. So therefore, you have to know how to sell what you do. You have to know how to sell what you do so that you can be ready on the pot. Next, you can gain exposure in the media. Many times just talking, Evangelist Efforts, I don't know if you remember when Suitland Fest, when we were at my Baptist Church and Suitland Fest, I was on the PR committee, and we actually got on, what was that, Fox 5? We were on Fox 5 in the morning, in their morning show. And they also filmed us at Suitland High School. Do you remember that, Evangelist? So you can also, by telling your story and sharing your story and selling your story, you can also gain exposure in the media. You can also gain exposure. So now we're spreading our vision. We're bringing in new donors. We are helping those who we want to serve know who we are and where we are. We're sharing our success stories. We're building great relationships with other organizations and government agencies. We're gaining exposure in the media. It also can, number 7 is alert the public to important events and news about the crisis that you're actually addressing. Your organization is addressing. So when our organization is addressing something, we should be the first one in line. Like when I was working for DC Campaign, we're the first one in line and say, teen pregnancy is on the rise. You know, you can let the community know and alert them to things that may be happening in your community. When there is an emergency in the community, you can be one of the people. If they know that you're known for that, you can use your skills to sell the importance and to sell that this is a crisis. You see what I mean? Not just for your own benefit, but for the people who are going through the crisis, right? To get them the help that they need. That's what we're here for. And so now we are spreading our mission and vision. We're bringing in new donors and supporters. We're helping those who need us find us. We are sharing our successes. We are building these great relationships in the community with organizations and government agencies. We're gaining exposure in the media. We're alerting the public to the crisis that our organizations address. And then we can let our funders, which mean grant funders, know that we are the right organization for the job. We are the right organization for the job. And in many of the grant proposals, it will ask you, what makes you the organization to address this need? What is the need? Give me a need statement. That's what that's called, a need statement. Write your need statement. And then what makes you the right organization to address this need? You need to be able to sell yourself. If somebody walked up to you right now and say, well, what need do you fulfill? And you give them the need and they say, well, what makes you the right organization? You're going to have to be able to say something. I'm telling you, handing that brochure, handing that business card for a funder, not going to work. You're going to have to be able to tell the story, sell that mission, sell that need. Because when you do that, you're actually helping the people that you want to serve, because now you can be supported so that you can now reach out to others and help them. And last but not least, number 9, I say you can create and earn revenue stream by selling a product or a service. I know a lot of us are scared to sell, but if we got t-shirts and they just sitting in a box and we're not selling them, then you're doing a disservice to the people you want to serve, because that's money. That's money where you can give tutoring lessons. That's money where you can help somebody who's in a hotel with some food. That's money where if there's an emergency, you can take emergency food to wherever you need to take emergency food. You can help a child find a temporary place to stay. You can help someone out of domestic violence into a hotel. That's money. You can sell those t-shirts. You can sell books. You can sell bracelets. You can sell tchotchkes. I think that's what they call them. You can sell mugs. If you learn how to sell your services and your products better than you have, then and to make the money, you can now pass that money on into your programs. Like Healing Life Fellowship, we have my books, which I have deemed over to the nonprofit for their funding, and also t-shirts. Now I'm almost out of those, but see, been selling them. But and t-shirts. So I have my books and t-shirts for products. But for services, I offer trauma healing and deliverance sessions on a sliding scale. And we also offer trauma-sensitive literacy enrichment. But kids who are having difficulties in schools, who are dealing with some emotional issues, trauma issues, or maybe even just stress issues. It's not always easy in school, trying to pass tests, test stress. And so by us offering trauma-sensitive enrichment, it helps them to deal with not only the academic piece of it, but also the stress piece of education. And so we also have those as our services, which we offer on a sliding scale. And sometimes of course, we have free services too that we just give to the community. But in creating an earned revenue stream, when you have, that's where sales really can fit in. Think of all the many things. Even if you have a transitional home that people have to pay a fee to be in, you need to be able to market that to the people who may want to come to your home. Why should they choose your place instead of that place over there? Why do they choose a transitional home with a program instead of a boarding house? You have to be able to sell it, y'all. You got to be able to sell it. Now, I wish you could just build a website and they would come, but it don't work that way. And if I had figured it out, I would have done that. I would have been doing that for Healing Lives Fellowship. But so the ways that selling plays into nonprofit, we're spreading our mission and vision as a we are doing this. We bring in new donors, which means new revenue to do the work that we desire to do. We can help those who we serve to find us. We don't want to commit the sin of the desert, like I got that from Brian, where you have the best kept secret in the nation. Then the people can't even find you, don't even know that you're giving services. You can share your successes with the community. You can build great relationship with other organizations and government agencies. You can gain exposure in the media by sharing your story and selling your story. You can alert the public alert the public to important events and news about the crisis that our organization addresses, because we're going to be the ones who keep up with it, right? And then you can let funders know, grant funders know that you are the right organization for the job when you know how to sell yourself, because they will ask. And next, you can create an earned revenue stream if you just beef up those sales skills so that you can sell things. You can sell tickets to your fundraiser. You can beef up those sales skills. So, in ending this was kind of like a touchy topic, actually. Sales, nonprofit. Oh, how be it? We're trying to give back. Why would we be selling people? But I do thank those of you who were brave enough to send this question and reach out and ask that question about how sales can work in the nonprofit arena. I do thank you, because it took a lot of bravery. You didn't know whether I was going to shoot you down or what, So I say to everyone, let us share what we do. Let's sell our story. Let's sell it. Let us share what we do. Let's not make it hard for funders to find us and see us as the right organization for the job and give reason to support us. Let's not make them have to work hard at it. Let's grow our volunteer base, because the more we share our story and share and sell our story, volunteers will come to us. And also let us continue to let the donors know that we are truly doing the work, and that they are welcome to support us in the work that we do. Let's get funding ready. Our goal is to become sustainable so that we can take our organization from vision to mission and help even more people. And before I close, I did want to still give a big shout out to my sales coach, my sales confidence coach, Brian Keith McNeil, whom I highly recommend him if you want to sell yourself and your services, your nonprofit, better than you ever have before, so that your nonprofit can raise more money than it ever has before. All right. So you can join me every Wednesday right here at 2 p.m. Eastern for a Nonprofit Nugget with DrDebra, where I will continue to give you just a little something to chew on. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Evangelist. I will talk with you guys next time. Until then, stay blessed and keep serving. Thank you.